What is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Mario Kart Boards cast. Today we have week 5 of Mario Kart Professional Series. Today we are casting Charge Brigade versus Phantasmagoria in Group A. These two teams have a good amount of history within these past few months and are currently ranked 2 and 3 overall in the rankings. And so it should be a good time. So here to cast it with me today is YouTube legend, Wrath.
You're too kind, Maq. You're too kind. And let me say, it has been a while since I have been this excited to see a clan war. These two teams have been going at it over the past few months. There's, let's say, a little bit of bad blood here and there, a lot of VOD deleting, a lot of VOD watching when available.
Plenty of things going on behind the scenes here.
Yes, a very exciting matchup that will decide the winner of Group A.
Yeah. Now, as you can see from these standings, these teams are neck and neck, super tight. And obviously, the win-loss takes charge over any other stat. So winner of this is going to hold their seed for the winner's bracket and win Group A. So kind of an important match because there's been a lot of upsets. So there's really no easy part of the top bracket. So getting that top seed will help even if it's just a little bit. So definitely going to be looking for that from both teams.
Yep. We want to throw it over, see those lineups that we got for today's match. For Charge Brigade, we have Derek, Trix, who will be watching. Yoster, Zero, and Bagging will be Prove. Huge matchup for Prove today. His first real test is, the CB bagger.
Yeah. And on PT's side, we have Alex, Sane, Viraith, Zagler, and Kazam. Now,
so you go.
I think we start with the bagging battle. Because
now I'm not too familiar with Kazam. I feel like you could shed a lot more light on that. But Prove has been very, let's say, hit and miss. Sometimes he shows up, and then other times he uses it when no one calls it. So, very big floor, also a very high ceiling.
Kazam's side, Kazam has been really grinding a lot of bagging practice for this match. I bagged against him a few days ago, and he has put in a lot of work, and you can really tell because he's gotten a lot better than just where he was even a month ago. So I think he's going to be ready for this battle against Prove. Historically, the best bagger from PT's lineup, I'm sure, as most people know, is Viraith, but he is not a bagger anymore, and he's going to be running for them today. And probably what we're going to see is he's going to be the center of their comms. We're not going to see it, but hopefully once we get the analysis later on, maybe be able to shed some light on that. But he's going to play a big role in PT's lineup.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the communications because I see a very many similarities between Charge Brigade and Phantasmagoria's lineups. We have Trix and Yoster versus Sane and Zagler, who are probably going to be controlling the top 4 spots during most of the war. I see Derek playing a very similar role to Alex in grabbing the bill, maybe a star, holding megas, and getting in the position to either nullify the other team's shocks by activating in beneficial times on lap 3, and also just kind of controlling the mid-pack. And then Zero and Viraith, I think, are probably, although they might not score the most points, they're the key players on both teams because I feel like they're going to be the central communicators and kind of dictating the pace of each race.
Yeah. So this might be some, players who don't usually get credit that are going to be have big roles today in the match. So to some predictions, because I think there's a lot of people in the room right now, so we got to get this done. Predictions, Wrath, why don't you go first?
Oh man, my heart is saying Charge Brigade, but I can't go against what my head is saying. I think Phantasmagoria wins this by, let's say, between 20 and 30.
20 and 30
What about you,
for
Maq?
PT.
What are you thinking?
I mean, I think I got to take Charge Brigade, right? I mean, I think that they've been playing a lot. This is definitely their strongest lineup, if not one of their strongest lineups. And they've been preparing for this match for a while. If Prove can show up and do a great job, then I'm sure that they're expecting him to, then I think Charge Brigade will be able to take this. I'll take Charge Brigade, and I'll take it by 16.
All right. Well, hopefully, no matter who wins, we have a close match on our hands today.
So let's take MVPs. What are you thinking? Points wise, not overall, but points wise, who do you think is going to be shining today?
All right, well, my guy Trix, we're going to be watching his POV. Some people have been saying he's washed. Others have been saying, wait, this guy's never been good to begin with. But, you know, he's been playing a lot this past week. He's off load management. And I think he'll put up some points today. I'll say Trix on 115.
Trix 115. Wow. 115 for CB while you're predicting PT to win?
You know, the thing is with CB, they can control that top spot, but PT has so many strong runners. They have Zane, Zagler, and Sane. Zane put together, of course. And
yeah.
I just don't know how the rest of CB is going to be able to take them out.
Right. I think that I'll take... I'm going to take Alex for this one. I'm going to take Alex. He plays so much for PT. If Derek's not going to be communicating, it's going to be Alex. And Alex has a lot more front presence, I think, than Derek does. So I think with the communication and that, I think he'll be able to super comfortably. He knows how CB plays. They're going to be able to really smoothly. He has great runners behind him, and I think he'll be able to show everyone why he's Alex and why he's hot.
Yep. And you know, it's going to be a very interesting first 3 or so races, because in the CB lineup, I can say pretty confidently that if things go south right away, I don't know if there's that strong communicator in the lineup that can hold them together in times of tilt. I would say it's Zero, but out of all the people in the lineup, he's probably the most prone to tilting. So CB needs to not fall behind immediately if they're going to have any chance of sticking in this one.
Something that I notice about league matches is that unless it's super to the extreme, the tilt levels of teams goes down a lot. People are a lot calmer, a lot more focused when they play. And I really, like I said, unless a team is getting super cheesed, tilt is never really a huge factor for me. Especially with two top teams. It looks like 2-3-4 for PT.
All right, well, out of experience in this matchup, I know PT is probably going to go BC3 as a catch-up track. They also really like Grumble. In Charge Brigade's case, DK Mountain, definitely a good track for them when they hold top spots. Catch-up tracks are more hit and miss. It kind of depends who's in what spot. But we should see a nice selection of tracks in this war compared to the general Bowser Castle.
Well, if you're replacing bets and you put Bowser Castle first, you're going to win. I feel like Castle is almost all in the first tracks. And PT expected with 2-3-4 to pick BC64, and obviously they're going to get the draft spots, maybe get some mid-place boxes, and crack the first pretty quickly.
All right, here we go. CB PT. Let's do it.
Trix able to hold his first after the first turn. No one drafted up. Oh, here's Zagler and hitting the wall, I think.
It looked like a CB member had a TC, but he passed it to Zagler.
And Trix
able to hold him off.
Holding it to the Thwomp section. So second place Daisy. I'm assuming that's Zero, so a top 2 I think we're looking at for CB. Oh no, here's Goober. So
it looks like PT is currently winning the bagging battle. They'll have a chance at a 10th place box.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy to follow because Kazam uses Birdo when he bags, and he's not going to stray away from that strategy in a league match.
And he did make the strat first, so he'll be able to get as many 10th place boxes he wants. It's looking like at this point.
Top 3 breaking away really early, a huge lead here. Hopefully he hits his mirror here so we can see who's behind him, but he's not, which probably means that he has a lot of confidence. And
yeah, especially throwing that green away.
Yeah. So I think we're looking at a really early top 3 break for CB. So unless...
Assuming Zero is the Daisy, I would say that's true. I don't know if anyone on PT uses Daisy, so I think it's quite likely
it is Zero.
CB is top 3.
So a top 3 here for CB in the early running.
We just saw Kazam jump off, so he does not have the shock yet. Prove's about to hit a 9th place box, so maybe, just maybe, he cheeses it. We'll see in a second.
Maybe he cheeses it.
Is he still going back? He's going forwards now, so...
I think that he's given up on going forward in 10th just because he's so far back at this point. He's just going to start spamming boxes in 9th, which is usually a decent play because you just get so many more boxes on this track.
Right. He's sitting at those boxes, still no confirmation as to what he has. We'd think that if he does pull it, he'll start going forward past the boxes, so maybe he's getting goldens and stars right now.
But if he does have it, CB's in a great spot here.
Still top 3, though.
Prove just sitting there. He's not losing a box to a Thwomp, and he's not driving off. But so it makes you
He
think
just got hit by the 4th place player. Unless it was a Mega, I would assume he still has whatever he pulled.
Yeah.
But we won't know for now. And if he does have Shock, I doubt we'll see it, seeing as CB is still top 3. Yoster, pretty far behind. He could be holding blue.
Yeah, that would make sense because there really hasn't been much action in the middle spots. Kazam just falling off again, he definitely doesn't have it. So unless Prove was able to get it right back after losing it just then, there's going to be probably a shockless race and looking like an early top 3 here for race 1 for CB.
Yeah, PT never really able to establish any front presence that race, and it looks like CB will secure the top 3 to start things off.
Wow. So
we got a ball game.
We got a ball game early on. A super key to winning that track is to crack that first place, especially when you're 2-3-4. They had to get that draft. They weren't able to get it. They couldn't get any middle to low spot boxes to golden up and break it either. And they couldn't get any shells, it looked like, either. So a lot of opportunities there for PT that were kind of missed in the early going that were able to get CB a pretty easy top 3.
Yeah, we saw Zagler pop his head into first for maybe half a second right there at the beginning, but I think he might have gotten wheelie bumped, and then he got immediately past the TC, and after that, it was pretty much whole day and drive.
And we saw Alex get up there a little bit before cut lap 1, but he was immediately taken out by, I think it was a banana. So CB able to protect Tricks and protect that top 3 the whole time. So a job well done by them.
And since we do have a top 3 in the first race, now these track picks become of the most importance.
Yeah, this is when track picks get very swayed. Very different play styles come in here. Most likely going to see, especially with a Daisy for CB, the only Daisy in the room, I'm assuming we're going to see a BCW pick.
I would expect Mountain just based on knowing the lineup, but wouldn't be surprised at BC either.
Yeah.
Maybe save Mountain for later.
So here's the BCW pick. Peach Gardens, another one expected. I mean, really some cookie cutter tracks here from each team. Both teams here have been playing a long time, both at super high levels, so they know what works and they know what they like. And so we're not going to see them stray away from that at all this match, I'm sure.
Now, something you might see here that we've been doing lately is 3rd place will take the last 3 boxes on the right and hop off the track, allowing the bottom spots to pick up better boxes and not allow PT's mid-pack to get boxes. But it doesn't look like we're seeing that here. Maybe 2 cheese for a match of this caliber. And
Zagler's already in first, and Zero got Reddit. So PT cracking the top spots super quickly. Here comes Sane goldening up. Banana from Tricks misses left. So early top 2, and that's exactly what PT was looking for with this track pick.
Right. Now, if you're CB, you have to assume that Zagler has 2 shrooms in first at this point. We'll know as soon as he gets to the cut whether or not that's true, but just for track presence and knowing what you're up against, I'd say you have to keep that in mind.
It's the safe bet. Derek, we see in 4th, going for a bomb snipe, and he hits it. Really great throw there. That's a great spot to hit someone. Pretty easy to hit, and when you do, it pays in dividends, because now they're top 3 break.
Yep. We'll see what he gets out of this box here, and he won't be able to take the cut, but maybe he could get the red off before the corner of the hedge. Doubtful, though. This
part of the track and gardens, you're not going to hit anyone with the red unless you're right behind them. So they're going to definitely be able to hold this top 3 in a huge top 3 break, and I think we have Alex in 5th as well. So early going here for PT, they're going to be having a big advantage here.
Kazam just hopped off. Yep. And we see Prove going back toward Kazam, so I'm not sure. But the shock does come in, so he did have it.
So it looks like a 9th-place shock for Prove. And that was definitely the right play. They got to get up there soon if they're going to make a play here.
Yep, very good chain for Tricks.
Yeah. Basically the best thing he could have gotten there. Shock in 9th and triple shrooms in 4th. So see if he's able to pass Derek here, unless he pulls a shroom this set.
Oh, that POW was huge.
And a POW, that's got to be a PT POW. A beautiful, greatly used POW from PT if that was theirs. And they're going to hold their top 3.
Riding in top 3.
Yeah. You got to assume that was Alex's POW on Gardens, and that was a great call. Probably Derek called that right out of cut. That's exactly
Zagler, the call. A great job of taking boxes there, just completely shutting down any chance that Tricks had to break into those top spots.
Hitting Zero and Tricks, and you got to assume Alex has a golden here in 6th or something. Yeah, he's starring up. So he's going to see if he's able to pass Derek and Trick.
But nothing Tricks can really do with the bomb, considering he's in a star.
Surrounded by his teammates. It looks like Yoshi was able to dodge on the line and salvage 4th, but that's a top 3-5 for PT, coming right back after being down.
body blow for body blow. You throw a right hook, straight back with the uppercut.
Yeah. I think Yoster was able to pass Alex on the line there with another shock from Proof. So Proof doing his job, whether it be a 9th or 10th, doesn't matter. When it comes, it comes. And definitely reaping the rewards of that.
Now, if you're CB here, are you concerned that even with 2 shocks to 0 so far, you're still tied?
Yeah, so PT probably feels pretty good right now. They were able to get their track pick. They were able to level the war out early on. Nothing is worse than coming back against a good team. That's the last thing you want to do. No matter how good you are, if you're the number 2 team, you don't want to come back against the number 1 team, you know? And,
right. And for PT, you can say they're in even better position considering they have the momentum now going into race 3, all things even.
They got the momentum. Kazam, I mean, for what it looks like, he's been out-bagging Proof despite the results, so I'm sure they feel super confident going into race 3 here. Top 3 for them. The Daisy advantage still for CB, so we might not see a BC weave from them. Maybe something
Wouldn't
like
be
Nathan.
shocked with a BC3 pick out of CB here.
Yeah, so we'll see what CB goes with here with a lot of bottom spots.
Delfino, classic catch-up track.
Classic catch-up track.
And it looks like Zero probably called Gorge to override that pick.
So Moonview, a good pick for PT. They're super strong on this one. I know they love picking this, even though I hate it. They still pick it. So we'll see
another one of those tracks.
Top 3 to their advantage.
Yeah, another one of those tracks where you just have to hold down top spots out of the gate, and if you do that, you'll be pretty much set aside for some shocks or blues.
Yeah, unless there's a super OP shock on this track, lap 1 is really, really important. So if PT can hold it, then they're in good shape. But it looks like 2 members from each team went down. So 1-3 only for PT, and now it's a 1-4. So immediately CB breaking into the top spots. You saw PT do this last race. So each team doing a great job of what they're supposed to do while behind.
Really well done to avoid those greens there. Almost got
so
caught
Trick's
in the
already
dryer.
in second.
He's going to play safe here around saying, if you're CB, I believe they're still 2-3. Just want to hold on to these spots for now.
Yeah. With the bagging battle so tight, anything can happen here. You just want to play it safe. You want to hold your spots. And same with a good double back into the bomb car. Really well played. Even though he got Zaggle, he's able to extend his lead. So it might be worth it if PT's able to hold the middle spots behind that.
Now, while that was happening, Prove turned around after getting a 10th place box and started going forward. So we can assume right now that CB does have the shock again. It looks like he's being chased down.
Yeah. So Kazam's still really close to him. It looks like Prove was able to get away, though. So I think we're looking at another CB shock.
Now we'll see if Trix can pull something here, and he does get the star. So things are lining up right now. We'll probably see a first setter.
Derek knows they have it. He's trying to get a dodge to dodge with them. Might be tough to get one, though, because the star's in play, and there it is. So chaining, Trix is going to get a 7th place box now, and he has triple shrooms in 3rd. Sane still up there with the huge lead. It might not be enough to get him out of there unless they pull the blue here. But
yeah, I think at this point you just want to secure 2, 3, 4 and win the race.
Yeah. So a 2-3 here from CB. It might be Derek there in 4th. Norm Derek in 4th. So I think it's a 2-3-4 for CB. If they're able to avoid this truck, they'll probably hold on to it. And looks like
now, 4th place hit the truck, so
yeah.
We'll see who that is in a sec as they drop down to the back of the pack. And it looks like CB will hold on to 2-3 here with Zane in first.
2-3. It looks like
I think Alex and
Zagler
Zagler
Alex
came in 4-5.
Yeah,
yep.
So a winning race for PT despite another shot for CB.
Now at this point in the war, 3-0 on the shot count.
Yeah.
And not really showing up on the scoreboard.
No.
What do you have to do differently? Or is it just down to those small little things mid-pack that aren't breaking their way?
Yeah.
Of course, we had the POW on Gardens, and that kind of ruined any sort of momentum they could have had after chaining into or getting shocked into boxes.
Yeah. CB is they just got to kind of keep playing their game. They got to get Tricks to the front. They got to play mid-pack super well to keep PT down because PT's runners are really, really strong when they get a breakaway. So Derek from PT is going to be playing a lot of pack today, considering he has his 3 strongest runners around him. So if they can kind of counter Derek, get to the front, and stay away from getting backspin or anything like that, then they can just use shock as more of a buffer than something to bring them back into a race, which is really when shock is used best.
Right. Now we're 3 races in. I said this would kind of be the tilting point in regard to tilt. And they're holding pretty strong. Although, based on what has actually gone down in the races, you would think they'd be up a little bit more. So I think this fourth race, close out the GP. Whoever wins GP1 in these wars usually holds on to win, is what I've noticed in recent scrimmages between these two teams.
Mm-hmm.
And we will get the BC3 here.
So I think track picks were 3-1. Oh, no. Yeah, 3-1 in PT's favor. This is CB's first track pick, so let's see if they can take advantage of it. With starting 2-3 and bottom spots, should benefit them. See if Zero is able to take the Ultra.
Looks like he was able to push him into the wall, so Trix immediately out in front.
And the top two for CB already cracking that 1-4 PT started with, which doesn't mean much considering it's BC3 and, you know, there's a huge shortcut, obviously.
Yeah, all it takes is one unblock and we're right back to where we started.
I'm sure we're going to see an unblock here from PT. It's only a banana.
Looks like he ran into it with triple green, so I doubt it even stuck for very long.
And Zero failing Ultra, Yastra making it, and it's a top two early on for CB.
Looks like top 2-4, and in regard to the bagging battle, Chasm is way further back in 10th, so he'll have best chance at Shock early on, but we've seen Cheese prove Cheese it a few times so far.
Pow comes, doesn't really change much. Kazam in 10th. We see a build coming up in 8th, so it's a good chance Kazam already has it, because you see him avoiding all the runners there. He spun out, but it was just lag.
Good bomb by Alex there.
Yeah, good bomb by Alex. If Kazam has it, which he did, got to stay away from Prove, and it looks like they were a little bit scared of that, unless they were just trying to crack in the top spot. So PT.
I'm sure they were also trying to cancel the cut, and that bomb really wrecking Trick's plans there, taking shortcut.
And cut looks pretty blocked.
Yeah, Zero wasn't able to take it, but it looks like one of the Funkies did.
Yeah,
it might have been in a star.
Sane was able to take it, and we have a bottom two here break for CB. So PT was able to crack that open super fast and are now in control of this race.
Still got Yoster out in first, it looked like.
Yeah, but Kazam's still winning bagging, and it's a really tight pack. If PT gets even just one mega and can unblock cut, then that's
now the thing is here, they're only first, so you can't double block it in time. If PT is able to take it out, it's pretty much GG at that point. But Trix does pull the mega, so maybe a late one if anything.
Chains it here, trying to prevent something. Zagler uses right after, so nobody has shock. You see Zagler trying to predict one of their shocks. It gets unblocked, and now 2-3-4 for CB, with Sane in first.
And great item pull there just to hold things off. And Zero did take cut. It looks like he's coming up in either 5th or 6th.
This will be good for protection if they're able to hold this 2-3-4. Derek in 5th. He's going to back all of these.
Shock comes in to dodge someone in 7th, and Zero spins out. So I'm assuming that's 2-3-4-7 there for CB?
Yeah, it's a 2-3-4-7 for CB, which considering, I mean, we're seeing the team that gets Shock isn't really winning these races. You see, I think that was 2 PT Shocks that race, and it's a losing race. That's a 2-3-4. As we said, 2-3-4-7 for CB. They weren't able to get any of the spots behind Sane. Looks like they used it mainly to protect him, and I think they might have gone in on that too much that they didn't get their middle spots, those spots that they needed. And super, super close after race 4. And Sane showing up for PT.
Just waiting for the score update here, see what the exact numbers are. But through 4, we've got a nail biter.
We got a nail biter.
And it's dead even.
Up after 4. I mean, what more could you want, guys? This is the second and third ranked team overall currently, tied after race 4. Super great gameplay from both sides from what we've seen.
Shot count right now, if I'm not mistaken, is 3-1.
That was 2 from that race for PT. Even though some races already crossed, it did gain spots. So I think it's 3-2 in favor of CB.
Right. But then in terms of track picks, CB didn't get any picks with their top spots, and I think PT got the one Moonview pick. I don't know if you'd consider BC64 really as a top spot pick, just because they only had first. Yeah,
I mean, B64 is I would it's good for drafting, but I think that it's good for neutral spots just in general. So that's just kind of a basic pick that's going to be happening in 99% of the wars you're going to see. They did get PT got the Gardens pick, which helped them come back immediately. Got that top 3 early, as we saw. Got that Moonview pick when they were top 3, and then CB got the comeback race BC3, and we're able to work out a 2-3-4 and tie it up.
Yep. So what we haven't seen so far is a big race coupled with another track pick and big race. I think whatever team can maybe pull that out first is just going to take this one home, considering we're already GP through and there's not really much to separate these two.
Mm-hmm. KC with 2-3-4 for PT. This was another PT pick, so they're getting their picks. Gonna go for that golden early. That's what I would do if I was fourth for PT. Trix just want to hold his first with everyone on the other team behind him, which is definitely the right play. Zagler, triple reds early. See if he's able to get Trix out of first with 2 of these, but KC reds are tough to hit early. And he opts to take the Shroombo, which is an interesting strat.
Bomb comes in, able to avoid it, and PT still running with top 2 here. Top 3 now.
That's a top...
Is it top 4? I wasn't sure who came into first. It is a top 4 for the time being,
yeah,
but Trix
so
able to
3.
break into there with the Thundercloud coupled with the Mega Mushroom.
So Trix unfortunately has to waste this Mega, but he's got to break into this early and soon before KC gets out of hand, because there's a lot of golden strats here, but lap 1, if you're able to make them, it's just such a bigger advantage than lap 2 or 3, because the pack is super tight at the beginning. And it looks like
he gets backed by his own teammate?
Yeah. Looks like he probably meant to throw that off and then backed it at Zagler, so kind of a big mistake there, because Trix is able to take Shroomba and probably crack this top 2 pretty soon.
Still a relatively tight pack aside from first breaking away just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And with regards to the bagging battle, we see Prove starting to go forward, so can we assume that he has it? I doubt he'd drop a star in this position. But he is slowing down there, so maybe...
low chance he would, especially with the PT top. I mean, maybe...
Maybe they need it bad enough that they're asking him to get it in 9th, but I'm not exactly sure at this point.
Looks like he's hiding in that corner, so... And that's what I do when I bag and have shock. So there's a good chance he might have gotten it in the waterfall. Maybe shock PT after boxes here. I don't know who has any dodges in the back, but CB needs to pull some stuff if they want to come back.
I'm assuming that PT used the Mega just to cancel out any chance of a shock coming in there. So
Which
we'll
is
assume that
absolutely
CB has it for now.
Yeah. So definitely PT does not have it because they were predicting something there. This TC is going to be brutal for Trix as top 3 is now infiltrated all by PT. And this is not going to help him too much either. Don't know where Alex went because now we see Trix back in 3rd.
No, we're not really sure what they have in the back, but at this point it kind of looks like they just need to shock into boxes and pray they pull what they need.
It's going to be a Hail Mary shock here from CB, hoping that they can pull out anything from this. Zane too far away to get hit from that bomb. Bill coming up. See who it is. It's Yoster. And I guess we would have seen a shock, so no one had it there.
They were probably assuming that it wouldn't have benefited them enough to try it. It doesn't look like the Bill would have taken him into top 2 spots there, so it's better just to settle at that point.
I'm sure Alex might have either stopped at boxes or spammed a Mega or a star or something to prevent that shock from happening, because usually you would see that there, even if it doesn't get him 2nd, it would confirm a 3rd. So kind of interesting, unless nobody even got it, and Prove was just avoiding the runners while sitting in that corner, so... I don't know, but that's the top 2 for PT. They were able to control that race basically from the start. Zagler and Alex getting the short end of the stick with bottom 2, but still a winning race for PT. Not by much, though, so it's still very much anyone's game.
Now with top 2, bottom 2, there's a pretty good selection of tracks that they can pick to kind of benefit breaking away and getting those power items in the back. What do you think we see here next?
I think that in this spot, we're going to see a DDR from PT, because I know they like picking that when they're first. Anyone would. I mean, you got stand hop right there. When you're bottom spots, when you got the sandwich spots like this, I like to call it, with the top 2, bottom 2. When you're that bread of the sandwich, you get those goldens in the back, you get the triple shrooms in the back, the stars in the back. You can take the sand hop in first and break away. You're in a great position for DDR. For CB, middle spots, I kind of like Gorge, and which is what they're going to go with. So yeah, so I'm 2 for 2 there.
Well done, well done.
I mean, they don't just pick anyone for this job, guys. And so it's going to be CB's pick here for MG, and hopefully they can break into those top spots quick.
Now MG, a track that lap 3 target shocks can really mess up any team's race. A track that we could see maybe a top 3 or just a big race in general come out of. Definitely important to win the bagging battle here.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Trix holding on to first for now.
But doesn't really matter too much, especially in a tight pack like this where everyone's going to be taking gap and this red's going to connect onto a lot of people. It's like a lot of people just got owned right there. So race quickly flips around for Trix. Going to go left, right, get a confirmed box. Star probably not what he was looking for, but we see Prove winning the bagging battle now by quite a bit. So
Yep, and he's going to have that first chance at a box at 30.
yeah, likely going to be a shock for CB at this moment. See Kazam still going backwards. We're going to see right up here. This is when you can tell if a team has shock, is if he jumps off or not, and he does jump off. So Prove got build there, jumped off. No one has shock yet as they're both respawning.
Trix able to avoid Vired's TC, so able to hold on to the star for now in hopes that they'll end up pulling it. It looks like Prove is still slightly winning the bagging battle, although it's a lot tighter now than it was before.
Looks like Kazam might be outlining him backwards just by a little bit. It's tough to see who got a 10th place box there. And it looks like Kazam got shrooms at it and is going to be taking the next 10th place box. So that's an advantage definitely for PT if he's able to pull it here. If not, we could be looking at a shockless race because it takes so long to get to the next set.
All right, we got a top 2-4 right now for CB with the star in 4th. So assuming the star is used properly, they can kind of cancel the chance at getting TS or nullify it with dodge.
Mm-hmm. So no matter what, we're looking at probably a neutral shock. You see,
both baggers
someone from
just
CB
respawn.
falling off. Someone from CB falling off, and now Derek is getting blued. So it's going to be Goober in first, otherwise known as Alex, and uses a Mega. So he'll get it confirmed first. Looks like Trix and Derek will get 2-3 unless people take gap.
And it looked like Zero took gap at the end there, maybe for the 2-3-4, but I'm not sure if Derek was able to hold on to 4th at the end.
I don't think so. I think Derek hit the edge there on Derek hit the edge on Gab, and I think it might have cost him 4th because it looked like Zero passed him for a 2-3-4 in favor of CB.
Well, shockless Gorge race, speak of the devil, kind of sucked all the fun out of it, but nonetheless, teams keeping it close through 6.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there really hasn't been a, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that, but because of the first 2 races, but ever since the first 2 races where CB top 3 and then PT top 3 them right back, these races have been super, super, super close. So no one's had an advantage so far, really, in terms of points.
Which is what you love to see, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a great match to watch so far. And officially halfway through, CB up by only 6 points.
So at this point, both teams probably settled in. They know what they have to do. It's just going to be up to who can throw that haymaker first.
Yeah. We're just waiting for that one big race to maybe crack this puppy wide open. And here comes the CB DK Mountain that we've been waiting for. So both teams picking what I think are their signature tracks. PT have really 4 for 4 strong runners on Coconut Mall, no matter what their lineup is. And CB with DK Mountain, I mean, you got Zero and everyone else can just support him to run that. But it's going to go in favor of PT here. For Coconut Mall, we'll see if anyone goes for Bill early on.
Yeah, and for both teams, you have to establish top spots early, especially if you're CB. I think you can't let PT break away because they do have arguably the better runners.
Yeah. Trix able to pull that shroom to get into first. We'll see if anyone takes the full cut. It looks like Alex still has a slight edge on him until that little rail strat there. So Trix holding first for now. Now, something you don't see often on Coconut Mall is when top 5 and top 6 is like all still really tight.
Yeah, I think we can assume they're alternating spots because it doesn't look like anyone's really backing much yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no one really hasn't really big edge here yet. Trix doing exactly what he should be doing, which is just back spamming. Hold this first. It's super strong, and he gets powed. That's a great pow from PT, assuming it was theirs again, but it looks like Zach got pow-redded.
Yeah, so Trix able to hold on for now, but it looks like he's about to get past, potentially.
Yeah, kind of some scuffed strategy here after coming back from that POW, and Derek's going to chase him down with some relative ease after that. Looks like he might be dropping back. We might see a CB blue here, because it looks like he purposely went into second there for some reason.
I think he was just surrendering the space because he can't get knocked out a second right now. I think he's their only chance at getting a top spot. But CB blue does come in.
And Derek,
really
great
well done
job
by
moving
Derek.
there. Nice play by Derek. Exactly what he has to do, because we see PT most of these top spots. So exactly what he had to do there when he gets blued. Minimize the damage, taking someone down with him. And PT able to hold top spot still. Another blue for CB. I think Alex is first, and they're going to chuck it right away.
Yeah, this race is very tight.
Super tight race. We still see a lot of neutral spots. Trix getting back here is going to put him into 8th.
Looks like Kazam just went for a box in 9th, so we're assuming that no one has it yet.
Yeah, no one's run away. Usually you want to run away, not risk any form of getting trolled the shock out of you when you're a bagger. And it looks like 5, 6, 7 for PT. I think we're seeing top 2 for CB, if not a 1-3. And it looks like Yoster got owned, and I think Norm got owned there as well, but took Sane down with him. I think that's a neutral race.
I believe that's a 1-4-5 for ZB. I think Zero was able to get first there. Then we saw Derek and Trix in
one of the
4-5.
daisies. Yeah, we saw one of the daisies hold on. So
super tight race.
Yeah.
2 blues from CB, definitely bailing them out of some nicely played moments by PT, especially Derek with that blue.
Yeah. So CB salvaged that a little bit there, winning a race by probably no more than 7, if I had to guess. So only a lead with that's still less than 20 after race 7. I mean, when I say anyone's game, it is anyone's game between these two lineups, especially from the gameplay that we're seeing.
And as these small races just pass us by, you just know that that big top 3, top 4 is coming in soon.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't know when.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And one of these teams is going to get that one race that just propels them, and they take control of all the momentum. And whether it comes on race 8, whether it comes on race 9, whether it comes on race 11, it's going to be happening. Race 8 here, last race of GP2. 9-point lead. Or, excuse me, 11-point lead. I'm the dumbass. 11-point lead here for CB.
All right. Well,
and PT's
if there was a race where I think PT could really smack them, it would be Grumble. I don't think I've ever won a race against PT on Grumble.
Yeah, PT loves Grumble. So we'll see if they're getting track picks, and still down 11. So see if they can finally bring it to their advantage. Because I don't think we've seen them win their track pick since like Moonview, which was like +3 or something. So
side red from Trix early.
Yeah, side red. Dragging the red did not help Zagler there, which is super frustrating. But not too bad on this track considering how powerful shrooms are.
Potentially going to try and make a play here.
You
not
could
able to take out the trail.
Tough to snipe at this part of the track, especially when your opponent's dragging a banana. And we see more than half the room take the cut, which is what we expect. These are two high Division 1 teams. I think they are seeded like 7 and 8 or something.
Now
so
Kazam made it back,
seeing all these
Proof didn't.
Happening.
So just to note that Kazam hitting those 10th place boxes.
Kazam
looks like he's going forward now.
Yeah, but he didn't make it all the way back. Usually
well, at that point he didn't need to, just because Prove wasn't getting back at all.
Well, Prove can just run over there now and just...
I think that was a bait. I think we can assume Kazam has it.
Yeah. So I think we're looking at a PT shock here. Trix, backstabbing everything you can get. Derrickson cut, and they do use a lap 2 shock, which is super effective on this track, surprisingly, when used properly. So we'll see if it gives PT the advantage. I think they're going to be top 2 after that with the 3-4-5 here from CB.
Yeah, and I think at this point we can assume that top 2 is pretty locked, assuming CB doesn't get a shock, but there is a blue. So
now Kazam ran into 9th with that shock. So now Prove is spamming boxes in 10th here in the cave. We'll see him coming up. We'll see as me doing that. So could be a CB last second shock, which is what I think Trix here is planning on. So if they're able to pull it, then that lap 2 shock does nothing for them. And we're going to freeze here at still almost hitting Trix, and it does get him. And it looks like that shock didn't really help too many people. Looks like the Daisy
was it Zero that was in?
Yeah. So a Daisy dodged and cut, so that's going to be a first place for CB. They're able to lock that down.
And it looks like Derek getting backed.
2 2-4 for PT, 2-4-6-7. So another really close race from what, which is about
a lot going on
from
there.
what
I
we've seen.
think Sane, I know he got backed and then he spammed the bill. By billing Tricks there, they really kind of threw out whatever plans they had to dodge maybe top 2 if he was able to golden up into the respawn. They were still able to lock down first though, so damage prevention there. And you have to wonder if maybe Kazam should have kept going backwards if they were going to use a lap 2 shock, as CB able to lock down the 1-3-4.
So that's probably the biggest race we've seen since like race 3. So gonna give CB a good amount of momentum there going into the final 4 races. And yeah. Sane, after the 48-point GP down to 24, bottom 2 overall for Alex and Zagler. So they're going to need to start, putting it up if they want to combat CB. So CB plus 24 going into GP3. For today's analysis section, we have Hawk to give us a rundown on the first 8 races. So Hawk, you've been watching Alex's point of view, listening to PT's call. They're down a little bit now after that big race from CB. What have you noticed?
Well, this has been a very, very close war overall. We saw some big, heavy blows in the first GP. There was big, like, plus 20, minus 20 races coming in. And then things started slowing down. And what I noticed is, in the first GP, there were no blues at all. No blues thrown.
Yeah.
So that was really good for CB because they were top a lot. But PT managed to catch up later in the race anyway via shirming up or hitting them with items, which was really good. In terms of, shock, CB has been getting more shocks than PT, but the thing is CB has pulled 3 shocks in 9th so far, but they were all first GP. They managed to even it out a bit more, but currently the shock count is 3-6. In the end of that last GP, there were actually 7 blues thrown. So in the past 4 races, there were 7 blues. First 4 races, 0 blues. So, there's kind of a big difference, and these races are a lot more closer.
Yeah.
So, that's a big impact. What PT needs to do, I think, is they need to just keep focused on the race. I noticed Alex backed a green at his teammate on Koopa Cape, which made them have a much less favorable race. And also, they threw a blue at Grumble Volcano at Fire Wraith, who was first, which they had to, slow down for that. So I think they just need to keep their head in the game. They have a good mentality. And, if they keep playing like they do, I think they have a chance to win this war.
CB, anything you notice from them doing well right now?
CB, so what I've noticed is typically they've been in the front more than PT has, be it like by shirming up or hitting them with items. I think that if they keep playing like that, like if they're always in the front and maybe the blue count slows down, then I think they'll be favored. But it's a really close war. Like I can't really tell like who's going to come out on top.
All right,
it's a really exciting one.
Yeah. Hawk, thank you. We'll have you back for the post game.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. All right. And here we are, Maple Tree Way, race 9. I think this was a PT pick because they have third. They're easily able to hop and cut and get a low spot box, and you see their top 2 going into lap 2. Tricks taking cut, hopefully going to break that.
Yeah, I was going to say this. I wasn't paying attention, but it might have been CB just because Tricks is first, and this is his bread and butter in regards to driving just in general. You don't go a day in the CB chat without hearing about Tricks time trialing empty shroomless. But we see Sane in first.
Yeah,
in
Sane's
second,
holding
Fire
it down
in
so
third.
far. Derek putting a lot of pressure on him here.
And it's a 1-3-4, I believe, for PT right now. So Tricks definitely going to have to keep the front presence if they're going to have any chance at salvaging the race. I wasn't able to see Bagger perspective for a while there because they were both on the trees and I wasn't sure who was on the top half and who was on the bottom half.
We're looking at a CB blue, and I see that Prove is running away, so I think this is going to be another CB shock. And this is a track where it's 50-50, so that's probably a 9. And we'll see if they just dodge Tricks here, and they do. So Tricks is going to get what's almost a confirmed first with this Shroom.
Yep, just gonna have to read the mini-map now to try and figure out what happens at the end of the race.
Yeah. So he'll probably be able to hold this down with relative ease, unless there's 2 blues and another shock.
I believe Derek and Yoster are 7-8 right now, and I'm gonna say the Daisy is 0 most likely.
Yeah.
So assuming a top 2 7-8 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely looking at a race favoring CB yet again. Maybe 3-4-5 for PT, but again, we can't really see that. And we're going to see Tricks slowing down the line, so it is top 2, definitely. And Zagler and Sane are in 3-4, so damage control for PT after another race where CB gets blue and shock. So kind of minimized it, but again, they're going to have to make their play now. Down 24, and now even more, probably a little over 30, with only 3 races left.
Yeah, it's time to start coordinating those big race plays. You might not want to dodge one person if you have a 50-50 on holding for a little longer and dodging 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they slip up one race here, and it's probably curtains on this one.
Yeah. This is going to be a pretty important race here coming up for PT. And it's a top 2-4 for CB. So excuse me when I said 3-4 for PT. That's a even stronger race for CB than what we thought.
Yeah, it's really starting to get stretched now.
So PT going to have to make their move. And they're going to have to put a lot of faith in Kazam. I think they got to not go a 50-50 track for shock. They got to pick something that they're really comfortable on, something that they can come back on. But yeah, now we're looking at a little over 40-point lead for CB. So definitely not out of reach. We've seen it done before. So
absolutely, by no means over yet.
No. But this BCW pick could be really huge for CB with the top 2 starting off with the Daisy in 0, who I'm assuming can do glitch. I don't know him personally.
He's pretty efficient with it.
Yeah, so that would have been a huge pick, but it's going to be PT's MC3. So,
yep. And if there was a race for PT to snatch it back right now and carry the momentum throughout the rest of the war, it would be right now.
They're opting for the 50-50 pick.
Here we go. We got Tricks in first. And the bagging battle here, probably the most important bagging battle of the war.
Yeah.
Because shock can be so effective here, especially with all the off-road. Chaining a star into anything pretty much guarantees you a top 2 spot.
Super effective and really, really risky on a track like this where you can't lose Bill anywhere except for using it. If you get it in 10th first try, it's almost over for you. Because you're going to be
holding on to 2 people in 1-3 of this early top 3 breakaway. Mm-hmm. Sane going to have to keep front presence here for PT.
Yeah. Now this TC might like getting this TC Tricks because he's able to get 0 lead maybe and scare Sane off of this top 2. But he's able to pass it off. And Sane can't get it back. So Tricks have a bit of a lead. Derek, Alex coming up. This POW is not going to help Derek at all.
And wow, a lot going on here. The blue came in. I'm assuming that maybe... I don't know if CB would have thrown that in time to know that they were going to get overtaken. So I'm not sure whose blue that was. But right now we see PT
whatever it
top 2.
was. Yeah, it got PT into top 2. 0 might want to try to make a play with this fib if he can hit it. And that's not a good throw. So PT's and they failed a shock in the box. That was definitely a CB shock. You saw him slowing down. Blue's coming again here.
I don't know how much that'll matter though because
you see all the PT behind him, but 0 shrooming up, and I think he's gonna take a first out of this.
Jeez. They literally just snatched that one from the jaws of defeat.
Wow. Another blue for CB. Able to win them another race. And another shock for CB, so...
Yeah, I was assuming that Zagler would have been safe after that blue. I thought he was going to make it to the boost pad, but I misjudged how far away he was at that point, and I guess didn't consider the fact that he was small from the shock.
When you get the blue lap 3, especially post-shock, when you get the blue and you get the shock on a track like this, I mean...
Yeah, not much PT could do there.
Not much they can do, because they were top 3 before it, and, you know, it's tough to come back from that. Still able to hold on to 2-3, but it's going to be another losing race. Might want to consider going all run here if you're PT?
I think it's very track dependent. They kind of have a mountain to climb, but if you get a track where the shock becomes more important than having that extra runner, I don't know. You could go either way. 50 points is a lot.
50 points is a lot. A top five we're talking about now. So if you all run and get the best of it, is only 41. So even if they hit that, they're still going to be down 9 going to last race. So
yeah, I think right here you probably, unless you get a track where you feel really confident in going all run, I think you just try and keep yourselves in the war going into race 12.
Mm-hmm. I think CB has 2 options here. They go with picking just their strongest track, which is probably the safest play. Another one is just picking an ultimate, just a straight up luck track.
I was going to say, them going GB2 there signifies that they really did want to go all run and just go for the smash and grab.
Exactly.
But on DK Mountain, I don't think you're afforded that option. I think you have to have shock here.
Yeah, a cannon track where it's just so easy to just get it uncontested. Definitely, not definitely, but probably going to see Kazam bag.
Back they go.
And yeah, and they're both going to go back. So PT hoping that they can yoink a really, really good race here so they can go backwards again, race 12. But to do that, they're going to have to get through Zero and his Daisy Maq on this track.
Right, and at this point, if you're CB, you don't even need the big race. You just have to keep one person with front presence, and then the rest of them can hop into cannon if need be. This POW here definitely going to shake things up, I would assume.
Yeah, POWs on this track are super, super lethal, more so than almost every track. So, see what his plan is with this. Yoshir doing exactly what he needs to do when his team is way ahead like this late in the game. Schlagging, protecting first place. First place is so important right now. If they get that, it's pretty much over for PT. So, definitely the right play. We're looking at a 1-3-4 into cannon lap 2 for CB. And Zero probably going to be breaking away from Alex coming up.
Yeah, CB pretty much in the clear right now. Zero starting to break a little bit, and I believe that TC is probably going to be a PT member because I did see Derek way further back, and it is Zagler with the TC.
Yeah.
So at this point, now that he got TC'd, you stick one CB member in cannon with them, the other 2 free to run. As Trix messes up a little bit here, I'm sure he'll end up slowing down now. Or who was second? Whoever it was fell off.
And Sane yoinked him off after holding that POW for about 2.5 laps. So,
that's a GG.
That's the CB shock, and they're going to hold first. So unless we see a 2-3-4-5 from PT, it's probably going to be mathematically impossible for them to come back.
Yeah, Blues had to be up in the air yesterday at this point.
So even if they salvage this, they're going to have to all run it last race. But we see them in 5-6 for PT, so unless they can make something happen within these next 2 turns, it's going to be curtains for them. See Zero using a star
at this point.
Threatening Zagler, threatening Alex here.
Zero waiting on the line, so that pretty much confirms to us that CB are in top 2.
CB is top 2, and we see Derek in 4th, maybe even 3rd. I think that's a top 3 for CB.
Yeah.
And that was their goal picking that track.
That's the... If there was any track CB was going to do it to him on, it would have been Mountain.
Yeah, and CB, I mean, most teams know that this is one of their strongest tracks and they prepare for it, but I'm assuming, unless Kazam messed up the ramp strat bagging, I'm assuming that was another 9th place shock for Prove. I could be wrong, but it's another, regardless, like I said, doesn't matter. He shocks a shock, so another shock for CB, able to confirm that first. Really nice play there by them, and they were able to get the spots behind them. So that's going to be curtains for PT going into the last race.
That's all she wrote.
Unless we get like a ton of trolling penalties and a repick. But probably won't see that. So
now hoping they'll pick Luigi Circuit this next race. But I guess we'll see.
See if they do it just for you.
And now that this is beyond salvaging for PT, let's just go back and talk about what we saw, how we got here.
Well, really close through race 8. GV was when CB started to crack it open. And that was exactly what we were talking about once they got... Well, it was either a 1-3-4 or a top 2-4 on GV. It was that race right then, right after we talked about it, I think, as well. where they got the big race and then just carried that momentum all through GP3. They did not slow down at all. Really, really well played by CP to really minimize the damage and the threat that this really strong PT team has.
You know, one thing I said going into the war was that although he might not score the most, Zero is going to be essential in the comms. Mm-hmm. And then he went out, and it looks like he's going to score the most.
Yeah. Always nice when that works out for a player like that. So this race pretty much doesn't matter. We're going to see both baggers going back. PT going to play for the differential because I think we saw today, earlier, I wanted to mention this before, but EA it was EA versus Team Darug. That EA lost. So in Group F, we have a 3-way tie between 4 and 1. So with PT coming down to 4 and 1 now as well, it's going to be huge for point differential based for their placement in the bracket. So
now with the bracket, I did have a question because I'm not too familiar with it. Are the group winners given a bye of some sort, and then the rest of the second and third place teams play into that top 8 sort of scenario, or does everyone go into winner's side?
Well, the brackets are split between the top 3 teams from each group and the bottom 3. And
right, I'm saying in the top half of the bracket, so the first through third place teams, do all those teams go into a winner's side?
Well, all the teams with the best records and point differentials, I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I'm sure, I think we have a lot of high-ranking members of the MKPS staff in chat to correct me if I'm wrong, but the way it works is the best record teams are all placed, that's like first priority, they're all placed at the top, and they get buys based on that. So I think top 5 is like the biggest advantage you can get. Next is 6 through 11, which is where we're probably going to be seeing PT. We're going to see CB probably second overall after this, right behind Ethereal.
Gotcha.
So something that looks like that. So this match did have to do with obviously had to do with the seedings, considering these were the 2 second and third teams overall. So, but it does have mostly to do with overall rankings, not based on the groups as much. So 1, 4, 5, 6 for PT, gonna gain a little of that ground back, but really probably not gonna matter too much in the grand scheme of things, as CB takes this one down.
Yep, tops Group A, take a bow 0. I didn't think you had it in you.
Well, with a final score of 402 to 330, CB's gonna take this one, but don't go anywhere yet because we have a post game, as always. So just stick around. Yeah, top 2 overall from 0, and now for the post game, we're gonna bring back Hawk to go over what he saw at GP3 and basically the rest of the war. So, Hawk.
Yeah, so things kind of went similar to the first GPs there, which is unfortunate, or the second GP rather, for CB, which was unfortunate for PT. PT did, however, manage to get 2 more shocks that GP, but shock count was only 5-9 for their favor, which was,
for CB's favor.
Yeah, in CB's favor rather, which is, when 2 teams are very close together and shock count is that far apart, it's kind of hard to win those wars. But hearing their call and all, they started realizing that the loss became more and more apparent as the races continued, which is just, that's how it is when CB's bagger, unfortunately, he got 9 of those shocks, or 4 of those shocks in 9th. Keep screwing up my numbers here, which was the difference maker.
That is,
Otherwise, track count for PT 8-4. So they had that at least. Blue count ended up 5-5. So no difference there. Yep. So blue count was very close. It just might have seemed more impactful because the times when PT was in first was way less than the times CB was in first. So might have just looked a lot more rough around the edges for them. But yeah, last GP, fortunately CB kept their lead and PT lost on them. And I thought that if CB won that last race by 25, I believe, they would have gotten first seed overall. So I was kind of spooked at that because me being on Ethereal, we could have lost that easily there. But they managed to get another shock PT and dodged to the line, breaking CB's top 2. So yeah. So
that was week 5. Next week we have the upper bracket. Both these teams obviously going to be in it. How do you think PT is going to adjust any of their strategy? How do you think they're going to tackle the
Right, so in the upper bracket, PT, they had a lot of points coming into this one, so they should get 8th seed, if I'm not mistaken. And that means I think they play, like, I don't know if they play a team before that, but if they play the 9th seed, I think that 9th seed might be KG, which will be a very difficult match.
Yeah.
So I think if they want to get past KG, which I consider to be a better team than CB, they're going to have to work on some small improvements. So they had some teamwork issues that I pointed out earlier, mainly Grumble Volcano and Koopa Cape, which those issues really, like, I wouldn't say they made them lose that war overall, but the war would have been a lot more close if those didn't happen.
Right.
But if they could work out those kinks, and Kazam could maybe get a little luckier perhaps and not have the other bagger get many shocks a 9th, the war versus KG may look closer than the CB war. Because PT is a good team overall. They just, I feel like they just they didn't look that strong today. So I think if they get over this loss and play as they do normally, they might have a fair chance versus KG.
Yeah, PT is, I pretty much know, is probably the most active team in the community currently. They're playing like 3-4 wars a day at least. So any teamwork issues that they had today, I'm sure they're going to be worked out within the next 3-4 days. Anything that they noticed. This is a team that analyzes their gameplay, that really cares about winning this thing. And I think that knowing that, they're going to be still one of the best teams to play in the upper bracket, no matter where they start.
I think that, they're playing a ton, and today maybe nerves just got to them, right? So this is the first time that any team D1 level has played against each other. So CB and PT are both D1 level, and that's the first time we've seen this. And that's the first time they've had to worry about it for, 4 weeks now, or 5 weeks. So nerves could have got to them here in this match. I think they could get over it. These guys have been playing together for a while now. Surely they could get over it.
Two teams with really strong mindsets that are really not going to let, whether win or lose, are not going to let this match get anywhere in the way of their future matches. Both these teams are going to come into the bracket strong, and they're going to come in ready, no matter who they play, whether it's KG or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Both these teams, I think PT and CB are both top 6 teams overall in the entire league. So regardless of this result, they're both ready for what comes.
So CB with the 2nd seed, that's I would say that they're kind of the underdog getting 2nd seed like that. I would have assumed that WZ or MW could have gotten the seed ahead of them.
Yeah.
But with that said, props to them for managing to come out with that.
They were able to get a good point differential in all their matches. Obviously, there's a difference between the group stages, which is why MW we see a little bit lower than what we'd expect because they were put in a bit of a tougher division.
Yeah.
But CB definitely rose through the ranks more than I'm sure a lot of people thought.
Yeah, so I think we have WZ and MW. They're going to play their matches soon. So we'll see who manages to get the 3-4 seeds. I think WZ can no longer get the 2nd seed because CB won. PT needed to win that war for them to get that one because CB's plus minus was so high. And unfortunately, they suffered a minus 150 penalty earlier this season. So that kind of tanked them.
Yeah.
But
which is pretty much the only reason why they're not in the top 2, even first, was really because of that. Because Ethereal, we see just piling it on every team. We see CB doing the same thing. PT up until this match was doing that, which is why those 3 teams were just far ahead of the rest. But yes, WZ obviously still undefeated, so they're going to be up there in top 5.
Right.
So really between those spots, there's not a huge difference. Placement-wise, top 5, you get certain placement in the bracket, obviously, but not going to be too big of a difference maker. CB obviously did want to get this win so they can have that seed advantage, but when the teams are this even and this strong, I think we're going to see a lot of upsets in the upper bracket. Wrath, anything else?
Nothing more to add. It was a pleasure commentating with you.
Thank you. It was
a lot of fun
commentating with you. I'm glad you're back on the mic after all these years. All right,
guys.
I think that'll
Thanks
do it with
watching.
the final score of 401 to 331. CB will take this one against PT Phantasmagoria. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.